Boxing truth here. Let's talk about this Adrien Broner versus Adrian Granados fight. Now I was finally able to sit down, watch a little footage on both fighters, figure out their tendencies, their weaknesses, how they looked in their recent performances, also the skill set they bring to the table. And when this fight was announced, a lot of fans were wondering why Broner took this fight. It's not really the best business move, especially since turning down a career high payday against Manny Pacquiao to all of a sudden to just turn down that big payday to end up fighting this guy, a tough guy that Broner did not need to fight, and nowhere near the type payday he would have gotten if he had accepted the fight with Manny Pacquiao. But he made his decision. He's going in this direction, fighting Adrian Granados, and he's a tough opponent who's experienced. He's been in tough fights. He's a workman-like type fighter, and there's some people that are predicting an upset and expecting Broner to get trashed in this fight. So Broner should get full credit if he ends up getting an impressive and definitive victory over Adrian Granados. Now, as for the fight itself, Granados has a height reach advantage. He's a little taller. He's longer than Broner, but he's not the stronger man in this fight. He's not the bigger puncher. He's mostly an aggressive fighter, likes to come forward, likes to put pressure on his opponents. He can box at a distance if he chooses to. I've seen him done it in some fights. But mostly he's most effective when he walks you down, pressures you, and it doesn't give you any space to punch. He tries to smother you. He tries to keep it in close quarters so he can land his shots. So he could keep it in close quarters so you're not really able to land any thudding power shots. You're gonna have to be a good inside fighter, or you're gonna have to have good legs, or you're gonna have to find a way to set distance between you and Granados, as Granados is most effective coming forward. And I expect Granados to come forward in this fight. He's the complete B-side. He's not going to get a decision, in my opinion, against Adrien Broner. So his only chance, from what I see, is getting a clean knockout or a workman-like stoppage or a grind-you-down stoppage, similar to the one like he got against Amir Imam. But Adrien Broner is more accomplished than Amir Imam. He's not a prospect or a contender. He's a former world champion in multiple divisions. Yeah, there was some gifted belts for sure, but Broner, he's been in there with a higher caliber of fighters. He compared to Imam, he's got the experience. He's been in there with world class opposition. So this is going to be a different style and a different, more caliber of fighter, more accomplished fighter in Adrien Broner that Granados is going up against. So I can see that he could be a tempting pick, especially because of the odds. He's gonna be the underdog, so it could be tempting to put some money on Granados. But Granados, from what I see, he's very weak defensively. He's very open, susceptible to counters. He doesn't really protect himself after he punches. Doesn't move his head. He has gassed in his past fights. He was getting the better of Felix Diaz in the first half of that fight, and then the fight totally went away from him in the second half. Felix Diaz ended up turning the fight around in his favor, got a couple of knockdowns in the last 2 rounds of that fight, and that pretty much sealed him the victory. The fight was competitive, it was close in terms of rounds, but because of the knockdowns, Diaz was able to earn that victory over Granados as he landed the more damaging shots in the second half. And Granados, he did well, but he faded in the second half, and he was wide open for a right hook in the latter stages of that bout. His hands are too low, especially his left hand, so he's very open to a right hand from the southpaw stance, and also a right hand from the orthodox stance. He's also open to uppercuts. He's open to the body. He's open to left hooks as well. The key for Broner is not to not to let Granados just bully him to the ropes. He can't let Granados try to smother him. He's got to create some distance, some space. He doesn't have to be much of a mover. He just got to keep. He's got to be able to keep throwing a jab. He's got to be able to take advantage of the many opportunities and openings that Granados is going to provide Adrien Broner in this fight. I don't expect Broner to be a volume type puncher. He never has been. He's not going to be able to keep up at the pace of Granados. Granados, that's his strength in his fight. He has a more of a, I would say he has a better gas tank. It's not a great gas tank, but it's more solid compared to Adrien Broner's. He's also more of a volume puncher. He lets his hands go more. He throws a lot of combinations. But that can also be his demise because he fails to move his head after combinations, and also he's very wide open to counter shots in between the punches that Granados throws. So Broner, he's got to use his counter punching ability. That's what's going to be the difference in this fight. He's going to be landing the more flashier, heavier, the more showier shots. They won't be as consistent. It won't be at a consistent basis, but they'll be the more telling, more effective blows of the fight. Granados, he just doesn't have the power. I just don't see it. Broner is not a great fighter, but he's a strong fighter. He's durable. He's got heart, and he's a good puncher. He can definitely crack when he sits down on his punches. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not liking what I see from Broner in his training. I mean, for Broner's sake, hopefully that's like 50% of what he shows with the camera crews there, with all the media that's there. I mean, for his sake, because if that's him working out at full throttle, I mean it's definitely worrisome. I mean, this guy, if you watch him train, it's very frustrating. Because he has a bunch of yes men in his camp. Pretty much guys is just dick riding him, reacting to some of his combinations on the heavy bag. But the thing is, what's lacking in this training camp, from what I see, and all I see is the media footage. They're recording. That's all I see. So I don't know what's going on behind closed doors at the gym. But I'm very frustrated when I watch Adrien Broner on the heavy bag. I'm very frustrated when I watch him on the pads, because this is what he fucking does. He throws a fucking punch or a combination and takes a fucking break. Like, what the fuck? I train harder than you. Hit the fucking bag. Once that bell rings, do not stop fucking punching. You can rest when the bell rings, then you get your 30 seconds of rest. But when the round's in progress, I don't want to see no breaks. That's the problem with Adrien Broner. If you're going to train like that, that's how you're going to fight. You're going to throw punches, and then you're going to take a little break, a rest period, and you got to be at your best to beat this kid Granados. Granados is not a great fighter. I wouldn't say he's a world beater as well. But he's a guy who's very tough. He comes to fight, and you got to be at your best. You got to be in shape to beat this kid. So the weight shouldn't be an issue. Granados has fought at that weight plenty of times. He's recorded victories and defeats at 147 pounds. Broner's future is going to be at 147 pounds. He just can't make the weight. It's not very surprising. Inactivity, his diet, his lifestyle, and ballooning up in fights, that's going to be the result. If you're only going to fight once a year, it's going to be very difficult to just cut weight after a long inactivity period. So I don't see the weight being much of an issue. And if Broner is truly in shape, I believe he's in shape. I'm not liking what I see in his training, though. He's getting trash sparring from one video I saw. I mean, you got to have some competitive spars on occasion. You just can't spar a bunch of no-hopers to get a false sense of confidence. You got to get some resistance in sparring. He's also, not working as hard as he should whenever I watch him exercise or train. But I'm going with Adrien Broner. I believe he's just a more talented fighter. He brings more to the table. He's the more athletic guy. He's the stronger guy. He's the faster guy. He's the bigger puncher. He's the more skilled fighter. And he has good counter-punching skills, which will be the key in this fight. He has to take advantage of the opportunities Granados is going to present to him. Granados is going to be wide open for counters when he throws his combinations. All Broner has to execute, and he'll get the victory this Saturday. And I'm predicting Broner by decision. Granados is tough. He's been knocked down multiple times in his career. He's very wide open because he's defensively trash, in my opinion. But he's a tough kid. He always gets back up. I'm predicting Broner getting a couple of knockdowns in this fight. That'll be the difference. But Broner will land the showier your shots, the more effective, harder, cleaner punches. He'll get outworked. He might lose some rounds. He might even get his ass whooped in some rounds, but ultimately Broner will land the harder shots. He'll hurt Granados. He'll score a knockdown or two, and he'll end up winning a pretty much clear, not a debatable decision. Broner will get the victory, and we'll see where his career takes him. Now that he's going to be campaigning at 147 pounds, he's going to be fighting bigger fighters, bigger punchers. And he's already campaigned at this weight before, and he was trying to walk guys down that were naturally bigger than him. So we'll see where Broner's career goes from here. I believe he'll get the victory Saturday night. It wasn't the best business move, but he's the complete A side. Granados cannot win this fight, I believe, unless he gets a knockout, and he doesn't have the power to knock out Adrien Broner, I don't believe. Broner by unanimous decision. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.